Oh, this was a hoot, wasn't it? Oh, absolutely. This was, of course, sent out to make sure that you and I, well, normal people, if you like, watching this, well, we got it wrong, hadn't we, about Meghan Markle and how actually, the girls, the bosom buzzed, all of that sort of things, well, they were all getting on. And then we realised that Gwyneth Paltrow, one time Oscar-winning actress, American superstar, well, she was on the comeback trail. She decided once again to enter into the fray of acting. This is because her Goop, her own influencer lifestyle brand, was actually hemorrhaging staff and not exactly as mega successful as it had been. Nonetheless, there's no point in keeping people if you need to trim the fat. But the bigger story that was emerging, which was engulfing, if you like, Gwyneth Paltrow, was the fact that people wanted to know whether or not she was in fact chums with Meghan Markle. Well, now, the bigger story, of course, that was engulfing Gwyneth Paltrow was what everybody wanted to know was, well, was she really actually disliking or not at all friendly with the former cable TV actress Meghan Markle? And then this happened, right? Oh yes, the infamous video with Meghan sat with her feet on the table, virtually shoveling in pie and basically trying to act her way out of a 3-second cameo. And everybody thought, oh, well, wow, that's very funny. Even though, of course, Gwyneth had decided to sort of troll Meghan previously by making breakfast, sans makeup, all of that sort of thing, filming it on her own phone. And that was supposed to be the deal. Now, as I told you, they were suddenly the best of chums. And then what explodes in Hollywood is what keeps people away. You know what I'm saying? And of course, what emerged was the fact that Meghan couldn't clearly stand Sophia, right? The chair of Centre Barley, despite her being a very educated, erudite woman. For some particular reason, Meghan seemingly didn't get on with her. And as I pointed out, this is all to do with jealousy. No two ways about it. But what I find fascinating about this particular story is the fact that when Gwyneth Paltrow decided, of course, to try and kiss and make up with Markle on the world stage, there were two benefits. As I said, Gwyneth has a film coming out with Timothy Chalamet, and the bottom line with that is that it's kind of a risque thing. It's quite sexy, she's naked in it, and she's already pushed herself into controversy by saying she didn't need one of those people helping her do the scenes. She'd been in the game a long time. And then, of course, she did these rather desperate, in my opinion, pictures for Vanity Fair. At 52 years old, stripping off is a little bit dangerous, and nonetheless, they're airbrushed beyond all submission. But really, do you need to do that when you've won an Oscar for apparently your acting talent? But here's where this gets really interesting, because you see, the team behind Meghan Markle were hoping, well, the rest of the video, yes. Oh, didn't know, you see, didn't you know? You see, apart from Meghan just having a 3-second cameo shoveling the pie in at Gwyneth's table, right? Well, there was a chat, a little chatette, talking about how there's room at the table for people. And of course, everybody's welcome. It shouldn't be about women competing against women. And as I told you, Gwyneth thought, well, this was fine. But then it exploded with Centre Barley. And now that particular video that was also supposed to follow, right? The video that was supposed to back up Meghan, and of course the Netflix cooking show, and the launch of As Ever on Instagram, and the thing going live where you could buy all this stuff. Well, that was all going to support it. Seemingly, it's fallen on deaf ears, right? Because so far, at the time of recording, even though there's been a push from the team, well, apparently Gwyneth has been too busy to pop that version up. Now, one might suspect, of course, maybe she didn't like the lighting, the makeup, the hair, or indeed suddenly decided it wasn't for her. But either way, the offer to appear on Meghan's forthcoming podcast show, alongside the fact that Gwyneth clearly is still holding this, and I say chat, from those that have seen it, it's more of a fun tate-to-tate. Some people might say it's a little bit Bet and Joan, but nonetheless could be very useful in sort of counteracting the fact that Meghan's a difficult diva. But so far, Gwyneth is keeping away from the screen that particular chat. What could the problem be? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.